Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are taking a look at a random sampling of brick and mortar boutique owners who have shared with us how much they spend on rent for their brick and mortar every single month. Now, this truly is a random sampling of 24, to be exact, brick and mortar owners who wanted to share their information with us. So this is really just informative for you guys to have an idea of how much each brick and mortar owner spends on rent. You also have to keep in mind some considerations such as where this brick and mortar is located, not only in the country, but within their own town. There could be an area that has higher foot traffic, that has been recently renovated, that would cost more than an area across town that's been in a much older building. So this really isn't meant for you to know for sure how much rent will cost in each city. It's just kind of to give you a general idea. So with that, let's take a look. Okay, so first up, we have the region as the South. And by South, I just mean southern states in the United States. So the first one listed here is based out of York, South Carolina. And she actually mentioned that she owns her own building, so she doesn't have to pay rent. But she said the standard for about 1,000 square feet in her area is $1,500. So that was helpful information. Most brick and mortar owners will not own their own building. It's obviously an awesome advantage if you do, but she's the only one on this whole list who owns her own building. So next up, we have a location in Florida, and her location is actually 1,100 square feet, and it includes utilities and outside cameras. And I think this one, as well as the next one, are probably the lowest on the list for a standard brick and mortar. And the next one is based out of Arkansas and is $850 per month for 1,700 square feet in a downtown area. So if you ask me, that's probably a steal. Now we have a couple of more listed in the South, and the first one is a boutique in a city in Louisiana. She claims that she pays $2,149 per month for about 1,400 square feet. And she said that's actually a really good deal. So what that means is that most people in her area pay more for that amount of square footage. So I've actually never heard of that town, but must be a popular area. Next, we have a brick and mortar based off of the Gulf Coast of Texas. And she pays $2,300 per month for about 2,000 square feet. And then we have another one in Texas, and the one listed in Texas pays $5,600 for 2,000 square feet. She says that she's on the Hill Country Mile, which I'm not personally familiar with, but clearly it must be a very popular area because that is the most expensive one we've seen so far. Next up, we have one in Charleston, South Carolina. She says that she's in North Charleston. She pays $2,000 for 1,700 square feet. We have another store that's based out of North Carolina and pays $3,500 for 1,500 square feet. And then we have one in Jacksonville, and the one in Jacksonville just lists the average price per 1,000 square feet as about $1,800 to $2,200. So remember, it's really going to depend on your location within your city. You know, whether you're in a popular shopping district, you might have to pay more than if you're just off a random side road. And then our last two, based in the South, we have another one in Texas that spends about $1,500 a month for 1,800 square feet in Gainesville, Texas, which is apparently way north Texas. And then we have one in Atlanta, Georgia, which is actually where I live. And apparently in the suburbs of Atlanta, you can spend about $3,000 per month for 1,000 square feet. And another boutique chimed in on this one and said, I'm in Atlanta area too. That's about what mine would be, but I've closed up. How on earth does anyone make money after paying bills? So some people actually struggle. I hate to say it, but some people open a brick and mortar and they just struggle to get the right foot traffic in the door. Maybe they don't have the ideal target audience in that area. So it can be hard to say whether you'll be successful or not. Obviously, several boutiques are successful in this type of industry, so I don't want to discourage you guys, but some people don't make it. And then just continuing on with the Atlanta theme, I've actually looked into some brick and mortar locations in some really, really popular areas within the city of Atlanta, and I was looking at brick and mortars that cost anywhere from $8,000 per month to $14,000 per month. The $14,000 one per month was massive. I can't remember the exact square footage, but it was a huge building that ended up becoming a dentist office. So yeah, prices will definitely vary whether you're in the actual city or a suburb. Now we're moving on to the Midwest, and we have one based out of Bowling Green, Ohio for $1,500 per month for 1,500 square feet. So that's nice. It's $1 per square foot. Next, we have 1,700 in Michigan with about 1,200 square feet. And she has a sad face. Apparently, she does not enjoy paying that much for that amount of square feet. And then we have a third one, which is also in Michigan. And this person pays $1,200 for 1,300 square feet. Which is probably why the first brick and mortar in Michigan is sad, because she has to pay a lot more than the other brick and mortar in Michigan. Although, once again, we have no idea where they are located in Michigan or if they have good foot traffic or not. The next one in the Midwest is in South Dakota, and this person pays $1,760 for 1,154 square feet. And then I had one who someone shared with us that they actually rent a booth out of what is called Painted Tree. And this is basically like an open market that someone else owns, and she can set up her products within that market's space. And she has to give them 10% of all sales. And she has one booth rental, which is $435 for 6x16 space. And there's another option for 6x12, which would cost $560. So apparently Painted Tree is actually, I don't know if it's a chain. There are multiple locations. So someone else mentioned that they looked into Painted Tree and it seemed really expensive. But the original poster said that they've already made 5 times the rent in 8 days because it's in a high-end area and it depends on what you sell. She said she just opened a second location on the opening day and she's thinking about having a third. So the other boutique mentioned that they have a similar concept to Painted Tree. This is actually a different boutique than the first boutique that commented. And she said that she has it set up so that they do everything for you, including hangers, for a flat fee of $250 plus 10% per month. And this person houses vendors from all over the US. And if you want to look more into them, they are called Boutique Collective. I'm not vouching for them in any way by reading this to you guys. I don't know anything about Boutique Collective. I'm just sharing with you what I heard when we were all going through this informational session where we were shared how much each brick and mortar spent on rent. Now we're moving on to the west. So we have one in northern Montana, And this one actually, I can't remember exactly how much the first one was. The first two lower priced ones were, but this one might beat their price. $650 for 1,200 square feet in northern Montana. Next, we have a range listed in the Phoenix, Arizona area. So apparently they go for about 2,500 to 4,500 for about 900 to 2,000 square feet. But the higher cost, you'll mostly find the higher cost and lower square feet. It's rare to find otherwise. So that's good to know if you're based out of Phoenix. And then we also have one in the state of Washington. And this person lists that they spend about $10 to $25 a square foot, depending on the area. So that's actually really helpful because when we're looking at these samples, they don't all have the same square footage, so it's really hard to compare. But of course, you are welcome to do your own math to kind of gauge what the benchmark is if you want to understand how they compare overall. And now we have one in Arizona. This one is $200 for about 350 square feet. Apparently, it's a very, very tiny space. We also have one in a popular area in Long Beach, California, or maybe it's just a neighborhood in Long Beach, which is outside of Los Angeles, and they pay about $3,700 for 1,400 square feet. And then we have one in Hawaii. Apparently in Hawaii, they pay $5,000 for 2,000 square feet. I'm definitely curious whether they're in a popular tourist area or more of a local spot. And now we can move into the Northeast. We have one based out of New Jersey that this person spends $2,600 in a beach town, which is, let's see, apparently $1,250 in a suburban mall in a medium-sized town, but not a great mall. So I guess they have two locations, or maybe they're just sharing the price in the area, not sure. And then we have Brooklyn, New York. So with this one in Brooklyn, you can see they pay $1,600 for 1,000 square feet. And there was definitely some commentary on this one. A lot of boutiques were commenting like, oh my gosh, that's per month. And the Brooklyn boutique responded and says, yeah, $16K a month, 5% yearly increase. And this is a good deal around here. But they do have incredible foot traffic, averaging 200 to 1,200 people a day. Very trendy neighborhood, lots of tourists from all over the world. And someone else commented, wow, now I'm curious how many workers you have for that amount of foot traffic. I ran my store solo. I'd be pulling my hair out with that many people. I would say that is goals in life. I would love to have a store where I had anywhere from 200 to 1,200 people coming to my store specifically to shop. I know last time I was in New York with a group of girlfriends, we went to Brooklyn and we went shopping in the popular shopping area. So I wonder if I stumbled into her store and had no idea. And that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions at all. And if you are interested in learning more about things like the cost of opening a brick and mortar or how long it takes to become profitable as a clothing store or clothing store average sales per month, how much it costs to open a clothing store, where to find wholesale clothing vendors, or just how to open a clothing store in general, I've got all sorts of videos. These are just a couple of examples of similar videos to what we discussed today. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe and check out these videos if you are planning to open a clothing store and want to continue on this journey of researching everything you need to know to be a successful clothing store owner and just kind of for your own understanding. Again, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to comment them down below. I will make sure that I can answer them to my best ability. And I do have a freebie for you guys. If you guys are interested in downloading a free list of wholesale clothing vendors, you can do so at letsbuildaboutique.com. This clothing vendor list includes wholesale vendors for young contemporary styles, as well as everything from like workout clothing, plus size, children and baby vendors, swimwear, western, graphic tees, blue jeans, just basically every type of wholesale clothing vendor you could possibly need. You can download for free at letsbuildaboutique.com. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you have any questions, and make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you next time.